Leo, something huge is about to happen in your life. Are you ready to receive pure gold and a divine gift that has been waiting for you all along? You didn't arrive here by accident. You were drawn into this moment by something far greater than coincidence. There is a sacred alignment unfolding in your energy field, and today, you've been guided to this message because your soul is finally ready to receive what it has always deserved: recognition, freedom, love, and abundance beyond the physical realm. Welcome to Eternal Mindfulness. This space was created for those, like you, who carry the fire of purpose in their chest, who walk through storms without applause, and who now stand on the edge of breakthrough. You fought long and silently, Leo, and the universe is whispering that the battle is over. You are stepping into the blessing. The purpose of this video is to confirm what your heart has been sensing all along, that a monumental shift is underway in your life. Through astrology, tarot, divine timing, and intuitive energy reading, I'm here to guide you through the 5 powerful messages that are now active in your field. And I want you to know this isn't about blind hope. This is about remembering who you are, reclaiming your spiritual authority, and stepping into your golden season with boldness and grace. If you felt tired lately, unsure, or even invisible, you're not alone. The lion inside you has been roaring in silence, waiting for the day it would finally be seen, not just heard. That day is today. That time is now. And what's coming to you is bigger than a blessing. It is a divine compensation for every quiet sacrifice you've made when no one was watching. Pure gold. Emotional freedom. A sacred gift you don't need to chase because it's coming to you. Take a moment to breathe in deeply and ask yourself, what part of me has been waiting for this confirmation? If your heart beats faster just thinking about it, then this message is for you. Let me take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every comment, every subscription draws you deeper into this soul family we're building together at Eternal Mindfulness. And I want you to know your support empowers this channel to bring forward messages like this, crafted with love, divine insight, and a commitment to help you heal and rise. So, my radiant Leo, if you found yourself here today, it's because the heavens have something extraordinary to reveal to you. And trust me when I say you will want to stay until the very last second of this message, because what is unfolding is nothing short of miraculous. Now, tell me in the comments, what led you here today? Was it a quiet whisper in your heart? A repeating number you couldn't ignore? Or perhaps just a sense that something big is about to shift? Share your story with me below. This is how we affirm our alignment with the divine. Get ready, Leo. Something huge is about to happen. And this time, it's all yours. The energy that has brought you here is the same energy that is now aligning in your favor quietly, powerfully, and without asking for permission. Leo, you've been pouring your heart into spaces that didn't always honor your worth. You gave, you showed up, you endured, and most of all you kept believing, even when it felt like your belief was echoing into emptiness. But belief, when rooted in integrity, never disappears. It plants itself like a seed beneath the surface, and when the time is right, it grows not because you force it to, but because it was always destined to rise. And now, it's rising. The cards reveal something extraordinary. The magician appears with Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. These are not random. They are sacred signals. The magician speaks of your divine ability to co-create with the universe, not by manipulating or chasing, but by aligning. You have already put in the work. You've crafted your vision. You've walked the long miles no one saw. That invisible effort has been seen in the unseen realms, and now, physical confirmation is on its way. Ace of Pentacles is the gift you didn't ask for out loud, but your soul has cried out for. It is the yes to the prayers you whispered during sleepless nights. It shows up not in thunder, but like the first light of dawn, quiet, golden, and undeniable. This may take the form of a financial opportunity, a new contract, an investor, a career break, or even a delayed payment finally arriving. And the truth is, you don't have to go out and chase it. You are attracting it simply by becoming it. Energy always meets its match. And then there's the Six of Wands card of victorious return. In numerology, the number 6 often signals resolution and triumph following hardship. You are not just receiving something. You are reclaiming something. This is not a handout. This is harvest. And you deserve every grain of it. There is a deeper metaphor here I want you to feel in your body. Imagine a mountain you've been climbing for years. You've done it without applause, carrying more than just your own weight. Now, as you approach the summit, you look behind and realize you didn't just climb for yourself. You paved a path for others. This financial blessing is not about greed or ego. It's a moment of sacred acknowledgement. A reward not for what you gained but for what you gave, even when it cost you everything. So what can you do now to open the gates even wider? Begin with clarity. Write down 3 things you want to attract into your financial reality, not just the number, but how you want to feel when it arrives. Do you want ease? Do you want freedom? Do you want to be able to give generously? Let your intention be rooted not in lack, but in love. Then, take one small aligned action today that tells the universe, I'm ready. Wear gold or earth-toned colors this week. Let it serve as a reminder to your subconscious that abundance is not outside of you, it is already within. The world is catching up to who you've become. And if this message resonates, let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you are ready to receive. Claim it with your voice. Declare it with your energy. The universe listens. And so do I. You were not created to beg for miracles. You were born to embody them. Let this be the moment you stop asking if it's real and start living as if it's already yours. After receiving a divine promise that abundance is on its way, the heart often trembles not from fear, but from the weight of what it still carries. Leo, your soul has been not just a light in the dark, but a torchbearer for others. You've held burdens that were never meant to be yours alone. You've stood strong when others leaned on you, perhaps even collapsed on you. And somehow, you've made room for everyone else's healing while quietly postponing your own. But this is the sacred pause. This is where the universe leans in and says, you don't have to carry it anymore. The 10 of Wands doesn't judge you for carrying so much. It honors your strength. But it also reveals the truth. Your strength was never meant to become a prison. You were never supposed to prove your worth through exhaustion. And that's what makes this part of your journey so delicate, so divine. It's not just about putting the load down, it's about realizing you were never required to hold it forever in the first place. When Saturn retrogrades through the 12th house, it doesn't punish, it reveals. It brings back the old stories, the old karmic contracts, the silent agreements you made to carry someone else's pain, someone else's responsibility, someone else's healing. But now, the soul contract is expiring. You're being given permission not to abandon, but to release. You can love someone and still say, "This is not mine to hold anymore." Temperance enters the space like a gentle wind. Not to erase what happened, but to offer a new equation. One where balance replaces burden, and compassion doesn't cost you your wholeness. You can be kind without being depleted. You can be supportive without being consumed. I want you to imagine this moment like taking off a heavy backpack after a long journey up a mountain. You set it down. You breathe. And for the first time, you realize that the view was always meant to be enjoyed, not just survived. That's where you are now. And this release isn't betrayal. It's repair. One of the most powerful exercises you can do right now is to write a farewell letter, not to a person, but to the role you've played, the fixer, the rescuer, the constant giver. Thank it for how it protected you. Forgive it for how it limited you. And let it go. This act alone is an energetic declaration that your life is no longer driven by survival, but guided by truth. Wear soft whites and mint greens this week, not for fashion, but as frequency. Let them whisper to your nervous system that you are safe. That you don't have to tense your shoulders anymore. That your value was never tied to how much pain you could endure for others. You are still loving, still powerful, still radiant. But now, you are also free. Free to rest. Free to say no without guilt. Free to say yes to what feeds your spirit. Free to live not from obligation but from alignment. And if this resonates with your journey, share it in the comments. What weight are you finally setting down? This space is sacred. And so are you. Once you've made space in your life by releasing what was never yours to carry, something miraculous begins to happen. Your hands are finally open to receive. And not just anything. What comes next isn't random. It's not a replacement or a reward. It's a reflection. Leo, what's approaching you now is a gift, handcrafted by the universe and carried in the heart of someone who truly sees you. A gift that doesn't ask to be earned, only accepted. The Four of Pentacles is often misunderstood as a symbol of fear or control, but in this case, it represents sacred protection. Imagine holding something so precious, so deeply personal, that you instinctively want to keep it close to your heart, away from noise, judgment, or the wrong hands. That's the kind of gift I see arriving for you. Not something extravagant for the world to applaud, but something intimate, meaningful, and pure. A moment, a message, a gesture, perhaps even a physical item that confirms, without a doubt, you matter. Queen of Cups flows in with emotional depth and soft resilience. She reminds you that real love doesn't shout, doesn't chase, and doesn't try to impress. It listens. It remembers. It notices the little things. This energy could come from someone already close to you, perhaps someone you've overlooked because they've never demanded your attention. Or it might appear in a surprising way, wrapped in familiarity, yet carrying something new and profoundly healing. Six of Cups, the card of nostalgia and soul memory, suggests that this gift may even stir something ancient within you, perhaps a memory, a recognition, a knowing that says, "I've felt this before, in another time, in another form." When Neptune harmonizes with the full moon, the emotional body becomes porous, receptive, and full of longing. But that longing is not a void, it's an invitation. And right now, someone has heard your heart's invitation and is moving toward you with open arms. Don't rush to name or define what's coming. Just feel it. Notice who your thoughts keep circling back to. Pay attention to the people who make your nervous system feel safe. The ones who see through your armor without trying to take it off. The ones who recognize your strength but also remind you it's okay to rest. That's where this gift may live, in the simplicity of being loved without performance. I invite you to try something gentle yet profound. Take a quiet moment and write down 3 things you've given your time, your kindness, your loyalty that were never truly acknowledged. Not to blame, but to honor. To say, "Yes, I gave. And I release any bitterness, because I know now, it will return." What we offer from a pure heart never disappears. It loops back, sometimes years later, in ways we never imagined, through people we never expected. Wear rose quartz or deep ocean blue this week. Not for the world to see, but for you. As a silent affirmation that you are open, not desperate, not waiting, just open. Love, in its highest form, doesn't arrive through force. It arrives through flow. And if this message touches you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are you ready to receive that you once thought you had to fight for? Let this be the moment where you stop apologizing for needing softness. You deserve the kind of love that doesn't ask you to prove yourself. You've already proven everything by staying kind through it all. Sometimes, love doesn't leave. It lingers. Not in presence, but in the echoes of what could have been, what should have been, if only the other person had seen you clearly when they had the chance. But here's what's happening now, Leo. Someone from your past is beginning to feel what you felt. The emptiness, the longing, the ache of having lost something they didn't know how to hold. They are watching from a distance, sensing the shift in your spirit, and what terrifies them most is this quiet truth: you are healing without them. The Knight of Cups appears in this spread not as a hero, but as a ghost, one who carries the weight of their own silence. They may reach out. They may linger at the edge of your world, trying to re-enter through old memories or familiar phrases. But the cards are clear: you have already crossed a threshold. The Judgment card signals not just a resurrection of the past but a decision point. A moment of profound clarity when your soul chooses to close one door so that another can open fully. And that new door? It is being unlocked by the lovers, not just a person, but an energy. One that feels like ease. Like safety. Like you can finally breathe around someone without shrinking yourself. This new love, or love soon to arrive, may not be perfect, but it is true. You won't need to chase it, fix it, or carry it. You'll simply meet it. And in that meeting, something in you will exhale a version of yourself that no longer has to prove they're worthy of being chosen. There's a cosmic reason behind this shift. With Venus in opposition to Pluto, our hearts are being asked to confront the shadows of our love stories, the obsessions, the guilt, the fear of never being enough. But you are not that story anymore. You are the rewrite. You are the pause before the right one speaks. You are the sacred stillness that allows real love to land. Let yourself notice the person who doesn't trigger your wounds but instead reflects your growth. The one who meets you where you are, not where they wish you would shrink to. They may already be circling your field, or just beginning to enter it. But what matters most is that you are no longer emotionally tethered to chaos. You're choosing peace, not just passion. And that's the most radical form of self-love. Try this. Write down the kind of love you prayed for in your lowest moment, the love that would sit with you, not fix you. The love that wouldn't need grand gestures, just honest presence. And when someone arrives who resembles that prayer, don't doubt it because it feels unfamiliar. It should. Healthy love will always feel unfamiliar to a heart used to being tested. And if you feel a bittersweet ache as you read this, that's okay too. Let it rise. Let it pass. Then say this aloud, even quietly: I choose the love that honors my healing. I choose peace over patterns. I choose the present over the past. The person who once made you feel unworthy will witness your radiance from the distance they created. And you? You will be too full of life to look back. There comes a moment when the noise quiets, and you realize, you don't have to fight for your place in this world anymore. That moment is now. You've done the hard work. You've endured the cycles. You've carried the weight, loved with trembling hands, and stood in rooms where your light had to dim just to make others feel comfortable. But the cards in front of you, the star, strength, and the world, say something different now. They speak of wholeness. Of a new chapter where you're not constantly trying to be enough. You already are. The star rises after destruction, not to shine because it's unbroken, but because it survived and still chose to glow. You are that light. And as Uranus continues to move through Taurus, shaking up your values and breaking the mold of what stability once looked like, you are no longer defined by your past endurance. You are defined by your current alignment. Strength in this moment isn't about pushing through. It's about choosing softness without fear. It's about giving yourself permission to thrive without guilt, and to succeed without shrinking. The World card reminds us that every painful chapter you've lived has not been a detour, but a preparation. You're closing a karmic loop not by running from it, but by outgrowing it. And now, for the first time in a long time, you can feel the space around you expanding. The air feels clearer. The pressure in your chest softens. You don't have to brace yourself anymore. And that changes everything. Your finances begin to stabilize not because of luck, but because your energy is no longer leaking into people and projects that deplete you. Your health improves not through perfection, but through gentle presence. More water, more greens, more sunlight. A body that gets to rest because it's no longer in survival mode. Your work begins to feel aligned, not rushed or reactive, but connected to your natural rhythm and innate gifts. And love? It becomes less about proving and more about witnessing. You learn to love as someone who has grieved, but also someone who has healed. You stop performing love and start receiving it. You stop asking, will they choose me, and start asking, do I choose myself here? This is what liberation looks like. It's quiet, powerful, and sustainable. It's not the loud climax of a movie. It's the steady heartbeat of a life finally lived in truth. If you're feeling the call to reorganize your life, start small. Review your spending not from fear, but from empowerment. Clear out one drawer in your home and feel what it's like to release stagnant energy. Wake up 10 minutes earlier just to breathe. Walk outside and let the sun remind you that you're part of something vast and you're still here, which means your story isn't done. Let that be your ritual. Not perfection, but participation. You're no longer existing to be palatable. You are living to be free. And if this part of the message speaks to you, I invite you to comment with this affirmation: I am no longer in survival. I choose to live fully. Because this is not just an ending. It's the beginning of everything. You've made it here, not just to the end of this message, but to a turning point in your life. And if your heart feels both full and quiet right now, that's because something inside you already knows it's time. Time to stop carrying what was never yours, time to stop asking for permission to be at peace, time to stop proving and start receiving. The stars are not waiting for you to be perfect. They are simply waiting for you to say yes. You don't have to earn alignment. You just have to allow it. This is not just another week. This is the crest of a golden moment in an 8-year transformation that you've been walking through in silence, in resilience, in faith. You've shed, you've grown, you've healed parts of yourself that no one even noticed were hurting. But the universe noticed. And now, it's responding. So I'll ask you now, not as a teacher or a reader, but as someone who believes in your light, what are you ready to claim as your own? What part of yourself have you kept hidden that is now asking to be seen? What if your healing didn't have to be heavy? What if joy was your new discipline? Let this be the moment you decide that you are no longer waiting on life to choose you. You're choosing life. You're choosing softness without shame, strength without strain, and love that doesn't need to be chased. You are choosing to live not because you have to, but because you finally know you're allowed to. And if anything in this message has stirred something in you, a memory, a hope, a gentle ache, honor that. Don't brush it away. That's your spirit rising to meet the truth. That's the sacred confirmation that your energy has shifted, and with it, your reality will too. So I'll invite you to declare it with me, here and now: I am ready to receive the miracle made just for me. Say it out loud. Whisper it in your heart. And if you feel called, type it in the comments below to anchor it into the field. That simple act of claiming creates ripples far greater than you know. And from the deepest part of my being, thank you for being here. Your presence, your energy, your voice in this space, it matters. Every like, every comment, every subscription brings you closer to this soul-aligned community we're building together here at Eternal Mindfulness. Your support allows us to continue delivering these messages that awaken, uplift, and empower. And trust me, dear Leo, you'll want to stay with us because what the universe is about to reveal next is beyond extraordinary. So tell me, what drew you here today? What part of your spirit whispered that it was time? I'd love to know. This is your moment. Make it sacred.